had a lot of freedom growing up. My parents basically let me do what I want. So there was no kind of, I have to stay home, or, they were very lax in their, what's the word? I wasn't required to go to university, or I wasn't, I could literally just kind of work it out by myself, and I did. And so, the experience of doing that, I can be in any situation, in any country, with any type of person, and find something that I can relate to. I've lived in Paris, Milan, Barcelona, Hamburg in Germany, London. I was financially independent from when I was 16.
Wow.
I'm not from money. I actually paid my little brother through university. So it's kind of mental now that it's crazy.
How did you end up in Orange County then, with all of that in your background?
Well, I had been in London for 6 years after I kind of had lived around Europe, met my now ex-husband, but we got married in England and we moved out here together. Ford modeling agency sponsored my visa out here, so it was a very easy transition in regards to being able to work here. Moved to LA, and our plan was to kind of settle down and have beach babies and live the American dream. And that didn't end up happening as a married couple because, as you know, he royally fucked that up. But because I was a visa holder, he had to leave America, which was fine by me. But then I stayed, and the divorce lasted 4 years. It was actually quite, it was brutal time, and I had to stop modeling, and I, was scrambling for jobs because at that point I'd never had another job other than modeling. So, I didn't have any experience in anything, but like I had a lot of life experience. So I was kind of like, how do I get a job? Like I don't know. Like I've not had any experience in that. So
right.
Ended up doing random stuff. I managed an architecture firm. I managed a restaurant. I was a bartender. I was a server. I did remote renderings for a property company. And I was auditioning at the same time. So once that had all gone down and the divorce finished, I was like, okay, regroup. What are we doing? Got through that. So quit the day jobs, focused on auditioning again. And, I'd continuously been represented by my agency. So I was like, okay, I'll give it another year and, see what, if anything lands. And then the pandemic happened. So everything stopped. I was serving at Sunset Tower, which is a hotel in LA, and auditioned today, and in literally overnight I'd lost, the job. So I was kind of like in my apartment at the time in Hollywood and isolating by myself for 6 months. And I was just like, do you know what? Fuck this. Like, I'm done with LA. I'm done with entertainment. I am moving down to the OC. I'm getting my real estate license. It's been on my radar for a really long time. Now I have the forced stop that I needed to be able to actually study and get my license, because it is, it's quite an extensive process to get the license. There's a lot of law involved. There's a lot of financial, information. And I've never taken a test since high school. So I was kind of I was like, this is difficult for me I don't know how to study, but pass first time. So, that's how I ended up down here. Basically the pandemic, I was done with Hollywood and LA and moved down here to have a normal life and get a normal job. And this is where we are.
And then you ended up at the O Group. I mean, even having spoken to like Jason and like you said, married, like, did you expect, because we have drama right out of the gate, like, did you expect all the drama that you encompassed in this first season?
Well, this is my first experience at a brokerage. Like, I'm one of the newest agents, and I got hired by Jason. I saw that they were opening up an office down here. Obviously, I'd heard of the show. It's so huge in England that all my friends and family, have kind of like, the Oppenheim Group is a globally well-known brokerage. So when I saw that they were opening up, I was like, this is perfect timing. I'm studying for my license and I'll work there. So I sent Jason an email, and it's like very serendipitous, but he ended up being down here. met me for a coffee, saw what he needed to see, and thought I'd be a good fit for the group. I had no idea about the show up until, you know, a couple of months later, where he was like, oh, why is your Instagram private? Because, and I'm like, oh, it always has been. Like, I'm not like a, you know, it's all, I've got too many weird exes and I don't want him to see what I'm doing and like all of that shit. So he was like, well, you need to change it to public because I'm introducing you to production. We're doing a new show down here. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be on this fucking show. Like, I know that, like, I'm on brand for the show. You
are.
So now I'm on the show. So it's kind of like the drama just is very real, and it has been there kind of since the beginning. So it was just the same, but with cameras, which does elevate certain aspects of it. But yeah, I wasn't surprised at the time.
No, you are very on brand. Look, you're very close to, you know, Alex Hall and like, you know, Sean and Brandi. But look, one person you're not close to is Jarvis and Rose. What is it about Jarvis and Rose? I mean, I've watched all 8 episodes. Like, what is it about them that just rubs you the wrong way?
I just feel like they're so condescending. They think that they are better than everyone else. They look at the show actually doesn't really explain because it would just take so long, you know. I think it does a good job of like showing that obviously we don't like each other, but for me, I get along with anyone. I am friendly to everyone until I get disrespected, or, you know, if I don't like something, I will say it. I don't carry, you know, that around, but they continuously have looked down on me and, you know, other people in the office, which doesn't really sit well with me. And so, you know, we're like oil and water. We do not get on. They're not my kind of people. I think they're super stuck up, and I you know, I'm happy for their success. Their success means that the Oppenheim group succeeds. I like nothing better than a celebration. Like, I love celebrating other people's wins. I love celebrating my wins. I love a celebration. And it's a real shame that they've made it so that no one wants to celebrate their wins. And it's not just a me thing, you know, no one wants to celebrate their wins, which is the shame.
I mean, that's what it seemed like. I mean, we did have this situation where, you know, you said you hated Jarvis and that she was the worst person in the world that you've ever met.
Well, yeah, that is accurate. I stand by that. Like, she is awful. My experience is that she's terrible. Like, I tried to bond with her in the beginning. She made it very clear that she wanted nothing to do with me. And so I was like, okay, well, cool. Like, I'm good. I don't need you to be my friend. Like, hopefully we can have a professional relationship.